we all have that superpower within us. We just need to connect with ourselves and be aligned with ourselves as much as possible. Then we will be very clear with what we like to do, what we can do, and then what we find joy in doing. Then we can be in that flow. And when you're in that flow, things will naturally flow towards you. So once you know like what that person needs and see how you can possibly help the person achieve what the person wants, then you can package it in a way, be it through your communication or a deal or a proposal, that can increase your chance of being accepted by the person. So you are the only one that I share that much to. Like actually a lot of people actually ask me like how did I bundle this whole thing up, but
we're getting exclusive juice here in the conscious conversations. Okay, respect that. You're listening to Conscious Conversations, a personal and spiritual growth podcast to help you become your fullest expression. Enjoy. Hey, what is up, divine beings? I am Marco Chak, your host and the founder of Divicati. Welcome to the 17th episode of Conscious Conversation. This is a podcast for growth-oriented and mission-driven divine beings. This is a space where we host high vibrational, high conscious conversations with the intent to help you become the fullest expression of yourself. Each episode will dive deep into rabbit holes and always end up with one big action step that you can apply to help optimize your life, mind, body, or soul, and leave the podcast feeling inspired, awakened, and empowered. The reason why we do this at Divicati is to co-create a 5D world by harnessing the power of collective conscious ascension and collaboration. So I'm super glad that you can join us here today. Today, I have a special guest, a very entrepreneurial guest, a very energetic, resourceful guest. She is Kylie Chim. We met via Simbi and kind of like LinkedIn, where we, got linked up through a mutual friend, Unching. So shout out to Unching from linking us up. He's a health coach. Maybe he's watching this episode. Maybe I'll send to him. Miss you, bro. Shout out to Paul Check as well. He loves Paul Check. And so, we got linked up. And we were just talking, chatting, and you were in Singapore at that time, but then you kind of make your way back to Macau, and where we met up, we had a little lunch. You were starting she was starting this app called Trally. So Kylie is the founder of Trally. She's also a startup coach, as well as a life coach, as well as someone that's into spirituality, Reiki, and much more. So just a very interesting character. So very excited to dive deep with her on the creative process, understanding how to turn something from an idea into manifestation, because I've seen her network and pull together resources and make things happen in a very short amount of time. So today I'm very excited to dive deep into that topic with you, because I truly believe that through entrepreneurship we can solve the world's problems. So hey, thank you for spending that conscious time with me today here on the show.
Thank you for having me here. Really excited.
Yeah, so I want to just kind of understand your background a little bit more, because you studied commerce, business in Singapore, and then you graduated and you worked in the hotel management industry for around 7 years before you deciding to, I guess, started your own, app, Trally, right now. By the way, Trally is a video stream travel app that's about to launch, and I've seen, maybe we could put some photos and stuff on the YouTube so you can see they have beautiful UI and stuff like that. But my question to you is, what made you go from the corporate world, work in a hotel for around 7 years, and then jump into the entrepreneurial world all of a sudden?
So hi everyone, I'm Kylie. So since the audience of this channel is more spiritual, I think my life path is number 5.
Okay.
What is your life path number?
I actually forgot, but tell us about your life path. Yeah.
Okay, so people who are in life path number 5, they tend to have more changes in their lives. So I actually have a wide variety of working experiences, working from MNC to small companies to family-owned business. and in many different industries, from F&B to automobile to hospitality, and then right now to tech. So yeah, I think, yeah, and who knows, I might do something different next time.
So I mean, so your life path is number 5. So you can jump around. You tend to jump around a lot. But like, what got you going from like that, stable income job that you can into like creating something like an app where it's like high risk and it takes a long time to, I guess, to the revenue stream most of the time. So I guess that's a big transition for a lot of people because they're comfortable being in that corporate setting, right? They got used to that lifestyle. But what was that moment, or that maybe couple of moments for you where it's like, nah, I gotta unplug from this kind of like system into creating my own, venture?
So I have always been wanting to do something of my own. I was doing trading and some small little business, and then like while I was working in a hotel, while talking to our guests, and then I feel like, oh, there's a lot of guests who are like me, who would love to explore different parts of the world, but we have limited budget, time, or energy. Then I saw something like Twitch. When I see people play, when I see people watch people stream online playing games. So what if we can see people travel online? And I also subscribe to some travel vlogs. But what if we can make it much more personalized, live? Yeah.
Okay. But a lot of
So it's more of like thinking like, oh, what if I create that? Then I try to zoom in and do more research, blah blah, and get this started.
right. Like I understand that you got that spark of idea, right? And I think a lot of people do while they're working, but a lot of people say, hey, you know what? I already have a job. I'm really super tired after my job. So like a lot of people have good ideas, but they don't pursue that idea. They kill that idea in their minds, right? So how come for you, when you had this idea, you kept on going? Like what was the biggest motivator that helped you keep pursuing it?
Oh, it's interesting that we touch on this because I was just talking to Brandon, my partner, last night.
Your life partner?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a bit
Sorry,
like...
guys.
So I'm a little bit like my dad in this area.
Yeah.
Like we are people that if we want to do something, I'll get it done immediately. So yesterday I just received a complaint from my helper. So she says like, why you want to do this one and then you you want it done immediately. So you can say that we are a bit impatient in a way. Like we just want to get things done.
So when you had this idea, it just couldn't, like it was in you. You just couldn't let it go, like in a sense, like you wanted to
In
keep
a
it
way,
going.
but
Yeah.
even before Trally, like I had many different ideas in the past, so I was passionate in different ideas. But of course, like I won't go straight to production immediately. So we will test and then experiment and so on. So some of those ideas didn't pass that final stage
Right.
into fully execution.
Right. So there was like a process, because you're a startup coach. You understand, the mythology and etc. before kind of vetting whether you should go, fully into that, right? I mean, just an overall like high level view for someone that might have an idea so far. What would be some of those macro phases to go from idea to, okay, like this is good? Like what are some of the macro steps that you went through?
So initially we did a lot of user interviews with our hosts and guests to make sure like, oh, like for a host, they feel like they can really make a living and this is something that they can do, is viable. And then for a guest, we really solve a problem. There's a pain in it and we can provide a solution and they are willing to pay. So this is the first most important criteria. And a lot of startups, like we create products that we don't solve the world's problems.
Right. Okay, so doing the interviews, once that interview, the data that you collect,
We
validate,
do testing,
right?
interviews.
Okay, and what would be the next stage after that? Let's say, hey, you've done a couple of interviews, people seem to want to pay for this, there's a big enough pain point. What will be the next step for you guys?
I also share it with some friends to get their feedback, and then I start bootstrapping and putting my money in. And I also bought a lot of this kind of devices to do the live streaming.
Right.
And then we started doing the UI design. And
Okay.
then the development.
Okay. And when you bootstrap, like that term just means putting your own money in and trying to do it in a very cheap way to do those experiments, right? But like so you how long was that bootstrap phase for you guys?
About 2 years.
Okay, while you were working.
Yes.
Okay. And then so when was the moment that you're like, okay, let me take this full time instead of doing like a side hustle experiment?
Oh, sorry. I bootstrapped for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then the second year, I start to go in full time.
Second year, okay. And what was that trigger that like, hey, let me, do this full time? Because that would take a lot of courage, right? Was that a big moment for you?
Yep. Yeah. So after we do more testing, and I see like our competitors, they start to do something that's similar, and because of COVID, it makes this much more relevant. Then I just feel like, oh no, I need to speed up.
Okay.
And I think like I'm no longer at the testing stage already. Like I really want to create this.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I'm going in full time.
Okay. And then so if when you go in full time, right? Like from my knowledge, like there wasn't like a clear revenue stream. You didn't raise any money. So how did you, I guess, like support yourself like financially and because I feel like that's also a big risk that you're taking, right?
So like for startup founders, we often approach the 3 Fs in the beginning.
Right, right,
Friends,
right.
family, or fools.
Yeah.
So my first angel investment is from my dad.
Okay.
So that was my first pitching.
Okay.
And then I pitched to my family members, and then with my Trally t-shirt on, and then on the TV screen. And I was lucky that during my first pitch, I received an amount of money from my father, and that helped me to last for a good few months. And then after that, we apply for some grants and loans from the government.
Okay. Man, that's like super crazy, right? Because when you're taking money from friends and family, that's also that's more pressure on you to succeed. Do you feel that way?
Yes, but with my dad, that was a special agreement. Like I'm still helping out with hotel management.
For him?
Yeah.
Okay. Got
So
you.
it's kind of like an exchange
Yeah.
in a way. He's not
Okay.
really investing into Trally that
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And then so, so you were bootstrapping and then you were able to, because I know that you're a solo founder and then a lot of the things you've done is done via online, like with freelancers and stuff like that. And then so how did you, because a big part of creating something is to attract a dream team to assemble a group of people that has the same vision as you to help you execute those ideas. And so how were you able to like assemble your team? What was that process like?
So, yeah, initially, because we have limited funds,
Mm-hmm.
number one, and number two, because when I started Trally, I was in Macau, and in Macau, the startup scene is very new here.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's not a lot of startup founders, or like developers, designers, and so on, because everyone is in the hospitality industry. So I have to look at Fiverr or Upwork to source for talents. And I can only afford part-time freelance. So that was how I started getting freelancers to help me to design, to develop the app. And then, so that helped me in my initial stage. And then right now at this stage, when we already have our app, our web app, the website, then I started to, so recently we have a new team from Singapore, if you guys are watching, who join us. And also we have better partners along the way. Yep. And slowly, once we get more funding in, we will hire also like full-time team members, probably in Singapore.
Okay. And so when you first recruited the freelancers, and were you actually coding stuff, or was it more of the wireframes and the like user interface designs? It's more of the concept to, I guess, pitch to people and to, I guess, have those, those apps where there's no code, like no code, but you just kind of click around to like show
Prototype.
like the prototypes, right? Is that the first product, or you went straight into building something with code?
Oh no. Yeah, I built a prototype 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So with images, then we just played around ourselves and how we can improve the UI, and we plan the user journey and
Right.
so on.
Okay. And then and then you started taking it to the next notch where you put in the code behind the wireframes. And so, that would take a lot of, because right now, how big is your team again? Like, I think there's quite a few people.
Less than 10.
Less than 10. Okay.
Yeah, we have freelancers, part-timers, full-timers. Yeah.
Full timers. Okay. So how are you paying those full timers right now to help you develop the app right now behind the scenes?
So we at the later stage we have some angel investors as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here in Macau or Singapore?
Mainly in Singapore.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
And then we are about to receive a funding from the cultural board.
Right.
That's a
Right.
big paycheck, but yeah,
That would
waiting
be
for it.
was that a loan or is that
It's a loan.
It's a loan. Okay. All right. So I guess like just a little bit, because we're in the entrepreneurial realm of topics right now, and then we'll kind of go back into this very specific like creation process. But when you approach an angel investor, like how are you able to convince them, with the concept and some sort of like prototype? Like what was I guess like ultimately they're investing in you, right? But I guess how did you convince them to put in some funds in?
It's really about selling the future and selling yourself
Uh-huh.
and the team, the product. So I have to give them more confidence about share with them like some previous track records that I have,
Right.
and the financial projection for the company, and some of the recognition or credibility that we have along the way.
Right, right. Because you're really good at packaging like the whole app, in a sense. Because like the first time I met you, or it's kind of like your signature, like around people that we like that we know. The first thing you do, Kylie has like an iPad, and then like she will play like a video, like this is Trally, and there was like an automated like 1 minute video, and to give people the concept, right? So you like. Did you feel like that helped you to convince the angel investors?
Yeah, I think that video is very well spent. Although like it's not cheap, but I feel that it helps me to convey the message more powerfully to more people.
Right.
Yeah, because the concept is somewhat new, but if I put it in a video form, it's easier to share it with people.
Right, right. Okay. All right. Sorry, we had a technical break, but we are back. So we were just talking about, your goal for the end of the year. So what would those be?
So definitely we will launch the app by this year, and then we will open up a few other Asian markets to acquire our hosts, and then we will open up the Western market for our guests.
Right, right. And then can you just quickly, I mean, for people that don't understand the concept real quick, can you give like a 30-second elevator pitch of what Trally is?
Okay, so Trally is a virtual tour marketplace. So on our platform, it's a two-sided marketplace. You can choose to be a host or be a guest. So being a host, you can easily just hold up to your smartphone and you can live stream your city or any events or anything that you like to broadcast to your international audience. Or you can choose to be a guest while you just open up your iPad or your laptop, and then you can choose different virtual tours around the world and have a live interaction and navigate the host at the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, thank you. 30-second pitch right there. Nice, nice. I just want to ask, right, because I was actually reflecting this question yesterday with a mastermind buddy of mine, like Diego, and we're talking about like entrepreneurial strengths and skills. Because like we had dinner on Monday, and I told everybody, hey, I have this like personal growth development fund where I want to put like a certain amount of money investing in myself, right? And then so I was like thinking about my personal foundation in terms of like strengths, skills, values. Yeah, there's more, but I couldn't remember off my head right now. And in terms of skill set, what do you think are the most important skill set as a founder? Because I feel like I have a lot of soft skills like pitching, negotiating, maybe maybe I feel like I'm lacking a little bit of like hard skills, because I feel like business school don't really prepare business students for hard skills like coding or like filmmaking and stuff like that. But from your perspective and your experience, what do you think are the most important skills for an entrepreneur to actually create and manifest?
Yeah, so for me, I feel like I don't know what is the best answer, but I
Yeah.
can only like share from my experience. I feel being resourceful. I
Mm.
think that is a very important trait. Like, it's important for us to be jack of all trades because we need to like know a bit of everything, and assembling the best team, or to assemble people to help you, the partners, the pulling people in, and knowing when and how to leverage on some stuff
Yeah.
to maximize the effect.
Right.
So for me, I feel like being resourceful helps for me.
Right. Okay. And can you like give an example of how you were able to like use resourcefulness, and or how do you apply this mindset?
So as I shared with you a bit already, when I was 25, I did that event. So it's a pro bono event. So when I was 25, I feel like I would like to do something for the society. I feel like a lot of teens were like me, where we are not aware about our values or our goals, and but I have nothing, and how can I do that for other people? So back then I started looking for trainers and then for coaches. So in the end I found 4 coaches, 20 coaches. No, sorry, 4 trainers. Yeah, 20 coaches, 20 volunteers, and then sponsors.
Right.
And in the end, about 200 participants turn up for a 2 full day event, free of charge for them as well. So yeah, so back then again, like I took up a course, a life-changing course in Hong Kong, and then they pushed us to work on something that we would like to achieve. So I started working on that project. So that was an example of how I can create that impact without having resources.
Right. Because like you're able to pull, like I get that as well, because I feel like I'm also good at like seeing the opportunity and like knowing each people's strengths and weaknesses, and then pulling them together into one team, and then assembling or creating that space and leading that. Do you think that's very like that's what you're kind of talking a little bit about, right? And then recently you also had kind of like so for your platform, for your host, all the key influencers, you're able to create a training here in Macau like very quickly. I remember that you were talking about this idea like 3-4 weeks ago, and like we're doing the training. I'm actually joining the training as well this weekend, right? So talk to us a little bit about how you're able to pull together all those resources in such a small, like quick time to create that training.
So one of the people that we would like to target is like young people to be our hosts. And then, so I'm just being honest here, and I'll just share. So we would like to attract young people, but honestly, I feel like, who am I to get them on board? Like, why would they want to join Trally? So then I started like designing something that makes sense to them.
Right.
So by partnering with all the different influencer companies or media partners, and then I say, okay, let's do a recruitment drive together and recruit the students. So I have their backing in a way. So number 1, I get these partners, and then number 2, I get trainers who are in this field as well. So my angle to them is like, so I'm getting these people who are interested to be KOL. You can share your knowledge with them, and because they give courses as well, so you can sell a bit of your course to this targeted audience.
Right.
And then for venue wise, just nice, like I'm part of MYEIC, the Incubator Center program that you are part of as well.
Yeah, in Macau.
Yeah, so they also do training programs. So just nice, like we meet their objective that we help to train people as well.
Right.
So there's a partnership going on. And then after that I get and because I would really like to attract more students, and then I want to make it free of charge as much as possible, then I also try to secure food and drinks sponsorship.
Okay.
So by sharing with them like how you can have more publicity to these young people and to our partners and so on.
Wow.
So you are the only one that I share that much to. Like actually a lot of people actually ask me like, how did I bundle this whole thing out, but
Hey,
Yeah.
we're getting exclusive juice here in the conscious
Yep.
conversations. Okay, I
Mhm.
respect that.
Yeah, so just now, like even
Rex asked
Rex,
you.
yeah, he asked me. I didn't share that much.
Right, right. So you're able to like create these win-win
Mm.
situations, right?
Mm.
There's a story. I think I'm gonna butcher it, but I off my head. A math tutor told me like this story like years ago. How like basically it's all about leverage. Like you first go to this like lingerie company and be like, sorry, this bank. Be like, hey, I got the biggest lingerie company that want to do business with me, and then you go to the lingerie company and say, I got the biggest bank that want to do business with me. So it's like you at first you have nothing, but if you get agreement from one side and you're able to leverage that side for this side, sort of that concept. If I have to
Yeah,
think
in a
about it,
way, but
yeah.
I'm really like I'm really honestly doing that. So
Right,
I'm not
right,
cheating anyone by
right,
painting a story.
right.
Yeah, that's one. And secondly, I think relationship plays a part. Like although like I have a lot of media partners,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually like almost all of them I closed them through a phone call.
Right.
So I didn't even go and meet them, like the trainers and so on. So I already have some personal relationship with them.
Mm-mm.
So I can just call them. That's why it's so quick.
Right, right. And I want to ask, like, what was the thinking behind, like, hey, why don't just I create like a targeted Facebook ad and then like post it out, and then like I'm sure there's gonna be like people want to sign up and on your platform. Why go through all this hassle to create this training program?
So number one, we don't have a lot of money, but time is crucial as well. Number two, like to me, I feel this is a form of relationship building with my potential partners as well.
Okay.
So at least like we collaborated with them through some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that can lead on to other projects and so on.
Okay. Nice, nice. Let's see how we're doing on time. We're doing great on time. So we're almost on the halfway point, but I want to just quickly talk a little bit about, just about your personal and spiritual foundation, and then how that ties into your entrepreneurship. Like, does that make any impact at all? Kylie and I actually meditate sometime, together during lunchtime, or like having a 15-minute break, and then it actually just relaxes us a little bit, and kind of go back into the workspace with a little clearer mind, with a little more zen in our body. But talk to us a little bit about like how did you get into spirituality and personal growth? At what age? Starting from there.
I don't know when I started. But since young, when I was in Singapore, I go to the church every week, but I just somehow don't feel connected with Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start questioning like what's the meaning of life, and then I often like to get into a lot of philosophical topics like that we can discuss for 10 over hours, like why are we here, what's the meaning of life, what is our mission, and so on. So since young, I've been searching for this answer,
Mm-hmm.
and then I get into like the energy healing work. So I wouldn't say that I have found my answer, but
Mm-hmm.
so right now my own belief about spirituality is every one of us, we have a superpower within us.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your superpower in your different area and mine as well.
Mm-hmm.
We are not better than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to unleash that superpower within us.
Mm.
And when we unleash that, it will raise our consciousness level. And
Mhm.
when we raise our own consciousness level, it will, just help
Okay.
other people as well.
Okay. And how do you, I guess, have you found your superpower?
I feel one of my greatest strengths so far is resourcefulness,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to apply it through Trally. So if I can make Trally work, and then I can work on my future life plans.
Right. Okay. And how does like how I guess there's a lot of different ways for people to find their superpower, and I'm trying to become a little bit more self-aware to understand know what my strengths are, because I'm doing like, coaching, I'm doing podcasting, a little bit of vlogging, a little investing. Like I'm just all over the place right now. I don't feel like I have that laser focus on one thing to manifest something like huge and big. So like for me, help me out a little bit. What can I do to like find that superpower a little bit, or what did you do to find, like, to be aware of your superpower?
So for me, I feel I think we had that conversation before about like self-awareness and being aware like what we truly love doing. And I feel very energized or passionate about Trally, that I want to make this happen. So I feel like just being mindful with our emotions, like what are we most drawn towards. So that will lead us, that will connect us with our intuition, with what truly connects with us.
Got you. You were saying following your intuition and know what you love the most, and then through that you're able to become a little bit more aware of, I guess, like your superpower in that moment.
Then you'll be more aware like what do you really love doing, what drives you, what gives you that energy.
I see. And I'm just wondering, like, just tying that into like entrepreneurship and the creative process, how do you think, like spirituality and personal growth has helped you in your entrepreneurship journey so far?
How it has helped me. I feel like we are like a vehicle, or we are like a vessel. We are here to learn stuff and to be the truest version of ourselves. And yet in this body form we have to integrate with mind, body, soul. So we have to make sure that our mind is clear by having coaching, and some meditation, and body to make sure that we are well nourished, well rested, well exercised. And then spiritually, spiritually right now, last time I tried to read more spiritual books or videos and just try to seek more meaning, but right now I'm not so much of a seeker already. I wouldn't say I have found all my answers, but at least I know what I need to do and focus on. Right now I'm focused on being a creator for Trally, and I know that if I can make Trally work, I can then work on my future life plans, which I already know what I would like to do and to create to the world.
I see. Okay. Is there like special, like, I know we meditate together, so I'm sure you meditate on your own as well, to help that mind and maybe connect to your soul, obviously rest the body as well. But is there any like little like things that you like to do to make sure that your vessel is good, so that you are producing high quality ideas, on a daily basis, for Trally?
So what I like to do is to sometimes do self-reiki for myself. While I meditate, number one. And number two, like sometimes I go for health screening. So I go for the aura scan
Yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah.
So there's a woman that I go to, like through the machine. She can scan like what kind of aura I'm having right now, and how are my chakras right now, and which one are blocked, or which one is more overused, underused, or like malnourished.
I see.
Then I'll try to work on those specific areas.
Okay. Dope. And let me just look at my notes real quick and see where we can tap into. Just now, like, we talk a little bit about like being self-aware and understanding strengths and skills, and then I think you, like, on our last dinner we talked a little bit about the wealth dynamics. I haven't taken that test yet, but you have, correct? And I'm just wondering, after taking that test, how did that help you a little bit?
So I actually took a lot of different personality tests over the years. So for that test, my profile is creator. I think it helped a bit to know, like, to reassure that okay, I'm safe doing what I'm doing. like my profile says that I should be a creator rather than being a deal maker or an administrator and so on. Like everyone has their own superpower, but
Right.
from that report it shows that my superpower is creator, like being a creator of things, which is what I enjoy doing as well.
So it helped you, like, reassured you that, hey, you know, I'm on the right path, like no sweat there. Okay. And now I just want to kind of like deep dive into like how can we actually make something happen from an idea into something that's like tangible. So I guess like the manifestation process and the creative process. Can you just like, I guess it's a big question, but like walk us through, for example, like how you would do that, you know, because like let's say right now in Trally, I'm sure you come up with like, you know, like first of maybe we'll start with how do you create good ideas first? Like how do you generate good ideas?
You guys need to find Marco for more coaching.
Why?
Because I get some good ideas from coaching.
Oh, coaching, right, right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so sometimes so I have a coach that I go to every week. Sometimes when I need fresh ideas.
What kind of coach is it or she is?
Executive coach.
Executive coach, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So coaching is one, and secondly for me, I like to brainstorm with my iPad. So I'll do some simple mind map from there, or using Miro to further expand our ideas.
And so, like, can you walk us a little bit more micro into your brainstorming kind of process? How does that look like? Because I'm always interested in how people brainstorm and stuff.
So, one of the thing that I do most of the time is when I want to execute on an idea, I would think like, okay, should I work on this? Yes or no?
Okay.
And then I branch it down, yes, no, like yes, like why, list down all the reasons, and then no, all the reasons why, and then I'll take a look at all the yes and see if it makes sense, or like how will it be a no, and then like further expand from there. Like, so I have a clear picture of what are the yeses and nos, and see which side is most important, or like what I need to work on in the specific points.
Wow, that's actually very helpful, because I never thought about that. Because like my biggest problem is that like I have a lot of ideas, but then I never know like whether I should work with them or not. So right now I'm just seeing one idea, branch it out, yes, no, and then kind of doing like a cost analysis, pros and cons kind of thing.
Yeah.
But how much is that using your mind, and how much is that using your gut or your heart? Following the feeling / intuition versus only thinking about it.
Oh, even for that yes or no, so it's not just logical stuff. I will also add in like, sometimes the yes might be like, oh, I'm afraid that this will happen and so on. So I add that in as well.
Okay, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So I actually use that analysis, I think 50% of the time at least,
Yeah.
on my iPad. There's
Yeah.
a lot of yes and no. Like that's the simplest thing. So
Uh-huh.
at least like I crossed that stage already. So for example, like when I wanted to do that recruitment drive, and then I'll analyze like, should I do this, yes or no? Yes, like what are the benefits? And then like no, what are the pain points, or like, oh, it will take up a lot of time, blah 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 blah. And then I'll then evaluate like, oh, which one is stronger, and like if this is a big issue, like, oh, what do I need to do to overcome this? So
Okay.
this is the simplest thing that I'll do, the first step,
Right.
before I brainstorm like, okay, all right, so at least the recruitment drive, I know that I will do that because it's more pros than cons. Then I'll further plan like, the execution part of it, the timeline, the people, and so on.
Okay. So that's
So that's my first step.
That's the first step. So you get some of your inspiration from, let's say, the coaching, or maybe walking or meditation. I don't know what else. Like, let's talk about where do you get the source of information in addition to executive coaching.
Sometimes like by just having interaction with people, events, meetings, or when I watch videos, books, and so on. Then I always have a list of things that I would like to explore or go through.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you go through that like yes or no decision kind of matrix, is that like, do you do that in the moment when you have the idea, or is it more like, hey, let me schedule that like 2 hour time to like go through all the lists that I've like, that I have?
It depends. Like if I have the time and my iPad is with me,
Uh-huh.
and then I can do that immediately.
Kylie loves her iPad.
Yeah, if I'm not free, but I will still jot that note down, and then
Yeah.
I will brainstorm when I have time.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So let's just take one example, right? Let's keep with the recruitment drive because we have the context of how like what it is and stuff. So let's say it was yes, you did the the yes outweighed the no's. What would be the next step after that?
Okay, so for that, after I decided, yes, I'm going to do that, then I list down very clearly like what are the objectives that I want to achieve by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot them. I forgot about it right now, but like maybe like I want to build relationship with this one. I want to do some marketing. I want to test my app. Blah 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 blah. And then after I know what are the main objectives, then I try to design it within a system that I can match all these objectives. So for example, like after that, then I know that okay, if I want to really recruit uni students, but I'm not strong enough or I'm not attractive enough to them, so from there then I know that so I need to partner with some other people. Then I try to brainstorm like what other resources do I have, and then I talk to the trainers and so on.
Okay.
So the second step is listing my objectives.
Right.
And then I come up with a game plan.
Game plan, right.
Then a timeline.
So like deadlines, when it has to be done, who are the stakeholders, key players and stuff, that kind of stuff. And then what will be the step after the game plan for you?
Working on it.
Just
like
executing
right now,
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a lot of coordination.
Right. I want to ask, like, because this is just one example of one very, like, not small, but like if you open up the business, like just Trally, right? There's the marketing, operations, app, UI design, and then like let's say with the recruitment drive, you have to send out the reminders for people to fill in certain forms, right? There's like within a business, you have the big vision, but there's also just very micro things that you got to do, right? And so like I'm just wondering, like while you are executing or thinking about the whole business, like tell me about, because I'm sure you have this as a solo founder, like doubts, worry, and fear. Like that's the most negative emotions and like the enemy toward, like, for your success. And how do you deal with that, as a solo founder?
So one thing about that, I feel like by nature I'm quite optimistic. That can be a strength and a weakness as well. Sometimes I can be too idealistic. So I tend to have lesser fear in a way, number one. And number two, because I was away from my family since I was young, so I'm more of a risk taker than most people. But of course, like I have fear as well. So one of the greatest fear is about money. So what if I don't have enough money to pay my stuff, and then I cannot continue on? So rather than having fear, I proactively look for solutions. Like I need to I need to get angel investors, or I might even need to borrow money from some people or apply for other grants and so on. So by proactively looking for solutions, but and also like through coaching, it helps to prime me up. So for example, like before I meet a potential investor, maybe I will do some visualization, and that will prime me up for success and attract me closer to what I want. And also the last thing is, I forgot. I was thinking of one point. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. But like, so instead of dwelling in the doubt, you are more. Yeah, go ahead.
I remember now. So as we shared about the brainstorming thing that I do, sometimes I will try to like dig deep into myself. Like if I experience some form of fear, like what am I fearful about? Like why? So I will try to drill into my dark shadow sometimes. And when I know like what is the problem, and then we will know that that's not important actually, like we shouldn't be fearful of that,
Right.
and just find a solution to it.
Right. And so like in a sense you're coaching yourself a little bit there as well. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes like I coach myself immediately if I need to.
Okay, that's awesome. Because I understand, like, I really resonate with what you said there. Instead of like focusing on the doubt, like focus on what you can do, not what you can't do, what you can control, not what you can't control. Like where focus goes, energy flows, and you're focusing on the solution, on the proactiveness, on the resourcefulness. So that's more of a pushing energy rather than like, oh, let me just like doubt and sit and wait and contemplate and like analysis paralysis kind of stage and state. Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing is like I'm quite conscious about my own energy and the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
So if my energy is not good enough, then I will just stop whatever I'm doing if I can afford to. Like it depends if I have meetings and so on. Then I'll just go straight to a meditation mode.
Mm-hmm.
So after I meditated, I feel like I'll be more calm and be more at ease with myself. Then I can do better work.
Right, right.
So that's one. And number two, like sometimes, although like we try to not have judgment for other people, but sometimes I know that when I'm around some people, I will be affected. Like some people, they can be more emotional, or be more judgmental. And I know that there's a conflict in energy. So in order to protect my energy and to create that boundary around me,
Mm-hmm.
I will stay away from some people.
Right.
Mm.
Got you, got you. Yeah, you gotta keep that, high vibe tribe, gotta keep exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, so ultimately, I hope that when I'm around anyone, I won't be affected.
Mm.
But when I know that I'm not there yet, I need to do things to protect myself.
Got you. Got you. Yeah, I want to just kind of spend, the last couple of minutes, 10 so minutes talking about, like, I guess more about how to become more resourceful, because I feel like that's your superpower. And if you can share a little bit of that superpower to other people, I think that would be a great, a value in this conversation. So if you have to break down like resourcefulness, like, can you just it's a word that not a lot of people use. Like, hey, you're very resourceful. It's not like a common word that people use, right? But like, I think watching I think Evan from his YouTube channel talks about like the most important traits of being an entrepreneur. I think resourceful was one of the top 10 for sure there. And so can you kind of break it down? Like, what does it mean to be resourceful?
By the way, I feel like I have a bit of that trait. I wouldn't think that I'm perfect in that.
Right. But that's your superpower so far, though, right? Like, obviously.
Yeah, but I'm not like 100% there as well.
Yeah.
So just sharing from my experience.
Hundo. We're here just for that discussion, right?
In terms of resourcefulness, I feel like the first step is to understand like, what is in it for them. So to know like what that person needs. So once you know like what that person needs and see how you can possibly help the person achieve what the person wants,
Mm-hmm.
then you can package it in a way, be it through your communication or a deal or a proposal that can increase your chance of being accepted by the person.
Right. Okay.
So it's about rather than so the first step is knowing what you want and then
Mhm.
knowing what other people want.
Right.
Then you try to merge the two ideas
Right.
with a solution.
Right. That's like seeing win-win situations and seeing if there's synergy there.
Win-win or win-win-win-win-win.
Right. Okay.
So like for this recruitment drive, like multiple wins.
Right. Yeah, dude, I love that. Yeah. And then tell us a little bit more, because I don't really know how to probe this right now. But yeah, is there any more juice that you can spill there? Yeah.
I feel so that's the first step.
Mhm.
And second step, I feel always come with good intention. Like knowing what you want and what you need, but be also conscious like, oh, is that the best thing for me and for other people as well? Do things that make you feel comfortable.
Mhm.
And although I say like try to understand what other people need, if I know that the other person wants to do bad things and that does not align with what I like, then
Right.
I wouldn't propose something with that person.
Right.
So it has to feel good and feel right for yourself.
Right.
Mm,
Okay.
that's the second step.
And then what will be the third step?
So
Or third element? It's not really a step, right? These are all like elements that's very important, right?
okay, so like when I do my negotiation or discussion, I will always like plan out like how I would like to discuss. So the sequence of the conversation, like maybe in the beginning, like, so every conversation is different. So maybe in the beginning you might need to sell yourself a bit, sell the vision, and then sell like why you're doing this, and then like highlight like how this can help the person, and how by doing this one you guys can all reap the benefit.
Right. Okay. So packaging the thought that you had in the first and second step, and then really communicating that to the other parties to kind of convince them to be involved in this kind of what you thought about. Okay.
Yeah, so like for example, for this recruitment drive again, so I package it to the trainers, and then to the sponsors, to the media partners, and then like lastly I have to package everything through marketing to the students. And then I have to package this thing like to some other people to help me to publicize and market to other people, and then I use this to get like food and drink sponsors as well.
Yeah, and the result is pretty amazing. Where there's over 200 people that is joining this weekend.
Oh, for this one is 100.
100. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. There's another one?
The one that I did 10 years ago, that was 200.
Oh, that was 200. Okay. It's been a while. See, the skill transfer from 10 years ago to now, right? It's crazy. Awesome. And so is there any more steps after like kind of, presenting and negotiating that comes to your mind at the moment?
I think the main thing is knowing what the person needs and what I need from that person as well, and how we can find that middle point. Because I don't believe in a zero-sum game. Like if I try to do something with you and only I win and you don't get to win, that's only a one-time off thing.
Right.
And I try to minimize doing those kind of stuff.
Right.
Like I rather not do that thing with you, and I find other win-win with other people, and we can work again when we can collaborate.
Right.
So I always feel like it's good to be fair,
Mm-hmm.
and not just to take advantage from other people. Like a lot of people, like they only want like, oh, let me just make use of you or take advantage of this situation.
Right.
But
right.
I often always think like, how can I always offer something back of value for you?
Right,
How
right.
can I help you back?
Okay.
I feel that is, be it for business or for life or anything, I feel that is a healthy form of exchange of energy.
That's a great. That's why you love Simbi so much, because like it's all about like exchange, right? I feel that like it's that giving mentality instead of like a taking mentality, that abundance giving.
Oh, so for that, last time I'm much more giving than right now. So last time I always come from an angle like, oh, how can I help you? Or and so on. But right now, it's more of an exchange.
Right.
When I take, I also want to give. When I give, I also want to take.
Okay, got you. And so do you have a little bit of advice for me? Because like, sometimes I feel like when I have guests on my show, I'm only taking, but like, that's kind of like my mindset right now. How can I like, or is it I'm also giving the opportunity for you to express yourself, or promote a little bit as well? Like how I guess like how can I create more win-wins in in my business right now, just as example? Like as this like podcast arrangements, since you're a guest, like how do you feel about the whole like setup and things like that? Yeah.
So to be honest, from a guest perspective, I wouldn't feel that I'm purely giving. I would feel this is a exchange as well.
Okay.
So what is in it? What is in it for me is, it helps with my publicity as well. Number one, and for Trally, and thirdly, like this is my first time doing this kind of video interview, so it gives me a good practice. And right now, to be honest, I know that Trally is a nobody. I wouldn't expect like, wow, the CNN or whoever to interview us. So
Right.
I feel like this is a healthy exchange as well.
Okay.
At where we are at. So
Okay.
I don't feel being taken for granted, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
So I feel it's a healthy exchange.
Healthy exchange. Okay. Cool.
So that's one. And to answer your question, like how you can create more value for your guests, if it's me, I would also see how I can insert more advertisement, or like I can like add some Trally links or whatever to also help the guests.
Right.
But
Okay.
I know you're doing that as well, so
Yeah,
I
it's in
think
the description below, right? If you guys want to check it out. Yeah, cool. All right, I really love that mentality. It's all about collaborations, quick, because in the business world, we often feel like if I'm winning, you have to lose. If you're winning, that means I'm losing. But sometimes we can create that's true if we're in the red ocean, right? If it's like the market is not big, but if we're in a blue ocean, or we can create even a bigger ocean of collaborating, unlocking new markets and new demands as well. So yeah, and I think like all the partners are actually is probably really grateful for you for taking that initiative to put all these things together, because I feel like sometimes some people thought about this idea, but they just don't have the initiative or the energy to assemble all these things together, and then they just need to say yes and participate, and they just need to do that one part, and then they can be a part of this bigger thing, right? So it's like I'm sure they thank you for putting this together.
yeah. And I'm actually quite surprised. Like, I heard from a few partners, like, they say, like, oh, they would like to enter the schools, but they feel that it's difficult for them and they feel that it's easy for me. But I feel like, oh, I don't think it's easy as well. So it depends on how you creatively package something.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah,
Mm.
got you. And by the way, just a quick little how did you advertise to the school? Like, did you? Yeah.
So, as we share, also, like, recently I've been doing some talks in uni schools.
Yeah.
So a lot of those invitations are from direct connection or referrals.
Yeah.
So share about Trally, and then I share about that event, and then through the incubator center, they also help to publicize.
Right.
And also, like, some of our partners, they help to publicize.
Right.
Mm.
Got you. All right, let's see what time we're at. Like we're at 57 right now. There's a couple minutes left. Is there anything that you want to like chat about before we kind of like wrap up this conversation, or do you feel like there's some juice that you haven't get a chance to share? In terms of the resourcefulness or about Trally or anything like that. What do you feel?
I think, like, one last thing I'd like to share is, we all have that superpower within us. We just need to connect with ourselves and be aligned with ourselves as much as possible. Then we will be very clear with what we like to do, what we can do, and then what we find joy in doing. Then we can be in that flow.
Mm. Mm.
And when you're in that flow, things will naturally flow towards you.
Mm.
That's what I hope.
Oh damn. Okay, that was that was deep. When you're in that flow, things will naturally flow to you. You'll naturally attract those things. Nice, awesome. And what is that one big action step that you want people to take when they finish this conversation? That just one thing. What was the biggest recommendation to become a better like creator or manifester just after this conversation?
Well, stop thinking about what you want to achieve, but start doing it.
Okay. Just start. Just start. Just start. Like take a piece of paper, start doing that yes no thing, or start brainstorming or whatever. Okay.
And, like, through that process, maybe you might fine tune your idea or things might change, but that's your first step.
Okay. Okay. And just so simple as that. Like get a piece of paper, like give yourself like 15 minutes or whatever, and just sit down and do the work.
Yeah. Sometimes it might sound complicated to, like, start something, but yeah, it all starts from the first step.
Right. Like 1,000 miles start with a single step. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, today, I feel like what I learned is some tangible things, some mindset things in terms of mindset as like that giving win-win situation, seeing what the other person needs. Because when you said that, when you create the recruitment drive, you're thinking about like what does a university student want, not and you're thinking in their perspective, in their shoes, what is it that's attractive to them. So I think that's a very good mindset to have, how to understand their perspective, understand what I want, how to create those win-win situations, as well as just the very practical things about the yes and no, flesh it out. and I feel like that was very helpful for me. And so, yeah, I'm very appreciative of this conversation today. I wish, Trally the best of luck. I know you guys are launching soon. Launch date undisclosed, can't be disclosed at the moment. But yeah, just wishing you a lot of success moving forward. I know you're going back to Singapore soon, and I might, go to Bali soon. So hopefully we can meet up, in Southeast Asia or whatever. But yeah, I'm just super excited for you in general. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Yeah, namaste. More meditations to come together. And Kylie and I did a meditation before. My first live meditation event, it was Kylie that was my partner in crime there. So very appreciative of you supporting Divicati along my journey as well. So yeah, just want to give my thanks to you as well.
That was a very fun thing. I'd like to do it again.
Yeah. All right. Love and peace.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.